Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be solving what we call factor label problems. What it's sometimes referred to is unit analysis. Basically, we're going to be looking at how to convert things from one set of units to another by using this kind of process we're going to be talking about, all right? One thing you want to make sure you keep out in front of you, if you look on Schoology, you're going to see attached this list of conversion factors. Okay, you're going to want this in front of you, either have it written down in front of you or print this out and set it down next to you. We're going to basically be kind of going off of these unit conversions in order to solve these problems, okay? So if you don't know these unit conversions, these problems become really, really hard. You need to know these in order to set these up, okay? But now that we kind of have that out of the way, let's look at the kind of problems that we're going to be expected to solve here. Again, I like to call this unit analysis. What we're going to be doing is basically looking at how do I change something from one set of units to another set of units, okay? So let's look at this first problem here. So we have a cheetah. A cheetah is running 300 feet in 2.92 seconds. I want to convert that into miles per hour. Now, I really like starting off with this problem because it really kind of gives us an idea of why the heck we want to do this. Like, what's the point, Mr. Guy? Why do we want to do this? If I came up to you and I said, hey, that cheetah's really fast. It runs 300 feet in 2.92 seconds. That might not mean much to you, okay? Whereas if I tell you how it runs in miles per hour, that's a measurement, that's a unit that we use all the time and has a little bit more context for you in real life, okay? So being able to convert from one set of units to the other is really going to help people kind of understand what we're talking about and kind of understand what it means, all right? Now, the way that we're going to do this is basically by kind of setting up a giant multiplication problem of fractions, okay? Here's how this is going to look. I'm going to start with my 300 feet in 2.92 seconds. You're going to notice that I'm going to write out the unit. So we get feet, and down here we get seconds. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my conversion facts that we just saw in the other one to write out other fractions that are going to lead me to the fact that I want. Okay, so for example, let's start with converting the seconds into hours. I want to make the seconds become hours, so I'm going to look at my little chart and figure out how do I get from seconds to hours. Well, one of the things on there is that 60 seconds equals 1 minute. So I'd go ahead and I'd write, well, 60 seconds are in 1 minute. I'm putting the seconds in the numerator because I want these units to cancel out. So I'm basically going to put them on the opposite side of each other, okay? Another fact that I know is that there's 60 minutes in an hour. So I'm going to multiply by 60 minutes in 1 hour. Again, I can see that my units are going to cancel. I have seconds here and seconds here, minutes here and minutes here. These are going to cancel, and we'll do that all in 1 second, okay? The other thing I want to convert is I want to go from feet to miles. So I want to look at my list of facts and figure out how many feet are in a mile. I actually know it's 5,280. That one I'm going to put down here because, again, I want my feet to be on the opposite side. So feet are going to go down here, and 1 mile is going to go up here. Once you have all these conversion facts written out, all these fractions written out, you're then going to go back through and you're going to kind of make sure that all your units are going to cancel out except for miles in the top and hours in the bottom, okay? Because miles per hour, we want miles in the top and hours in the bottom, okay? So let's go through. Let's see. We have seconds. Those are going to cancel out. We have minutes. Those will cancel out. We have feet. Those will cancel out. What am I left with? Well, in the numerator, I'm left with miles. In the denominator, I'm left with hours. That means that I'm going to get the unit that I want, miles per hour. I then go ahead and I multiply my numerator and divide it by my denominator. So we're going to have 300 times 60 times 60 divided by, and I'll put this in parentheses, 2.92 times 5280. Okay, and that is going to give me 70 point, we're going to round this, let's say 70.05. And again, we're going to do a little curly equal sign because we're rounding. So it's around 70-ish miles per hour. Okay, and again, think about it. If you came up to somebody and you said, hey, that cheetah, it runs 70 miles per hour. That means something to them. They know what that means. Oh, yeah, that cheetah's going really fast, okay? 300 feet in 2.92 seconds. Well, yeah, that might be the measurement you get while you're measuring the cheetah, right, that you can get really easily, but that doesn't mean something to anybody. That doesn't mean anything, okay? So basically, we're setting up all these fractions. We're multiplying across, making sure it cancels, and we want to end up with our unit that we're looking for. Let's look at another example here. We have a yogurt machine. Okay, this one can produce a quart of yogurt per minute. I want to know how many gallons of yogurt can be produced in a week. Okay, so you run a business, you run it for a minute, you say, all right, this is how much yogurt I got out. What if we do this for an entire week? How much are we going to be able to produce? So let's start with what they give us. They say it's 1 quart, and that is in 1 minute. So we want to go ahead and we want to convert this over into gallons per week. Let's start with the gallons because that one's pretty easy. We know that there are 4 quarts in 1 gallon. That got me to the unit I wanted, so I kind of only have to use 1 fact there. Okay, what is there? Gal. Okay, so I only have to use 1 fact there. We're good to go. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and let's look at the other one. So now I need to convert minutes all the way into weeks. So let's start by converting minutes into hours. We know that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. And again, I'm putting the minutes in the numerator because I want it to be on the opposite side of where minutes is over here. Well, then I also know that there are 24 hours in 1 day. And I know that there are 7 days in a week. Okay? Well, I think that I've converted all the way to weeks. Let's go ahead, let's make sure that all our units cancel how we want them to. So let's see, quarts are on opposite sides, they'll cancel. Minutes are on opposite sides, they'll cancel. Hours on opposite sides, they'll cancel. Days on opposite sides, they'll cancel. What am I left with? In the numerator, I have gallons. In the denominator, I have weeks. What I want to get? Gallons per week. Okay, cool. That's what I wanted. Now go ahead and plug this into my calculator. So in my numerator, I'm going to have 1 times 1. I don't really need to write the ones, right? 1 times 1, 1 times anything is just going to be itself, so I don't really need to write those. So really, I just need to write 60 times 24 times 7. Okay, put that in parentheses. And that's going to be divided by, and I'll put this in parentheses as well. We're going to be doing 4 times 1 times 1 times 1. It's really just divided by 4, okay? And I'm going to get 2,520 gallons per week. Go to WK for week, okay? So basically, again, you set this up. You want your conversion factors to all cancel out so that when you get to the end, you end up with the unit that you want, in this case, gallons per week. All right? Let's try one more, and then you guys are going to try 2 on your own. Let's see this one. Light travels at 186,000 miles in a second. How many miles per hour is that? So we're starting with 186,000. And that is miles per 1 second. I need to convert this into miles per hour. Okay, so we're going to multiply this. There's 60 seconds in a minute. And then there's 60 minutes in 1 hour. And again, seconds will cancel, minutes will cancel. I'm going to get miles per hour. You'll notice for this one, I didn't have to convert the miles at all. That one stayed the same, right? They wanted it in miles. It's already in miles. I can leave that the same. I only need to do the conversions for the things, whatever they want me to convert it for. In this case, the seconds, all right? Now, you'll also notice in our denominator, we only have ones. 1 times 1 times 1. I don't really need to worry about that. I just need to multiply the numbers in the numerator then. So 186,000 times 60 times 60. And I'm going to get a really, really big number. It's going to be 6, 6, 9, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. Okay, so 669, or about 670 million, or 670 million miles an hour is how fast light travels. That's crazy. Okay, about 670 million miles per hour. Wow, really crazy. Okay. All right, so there's a couple examples for you guys. I want you all to go ahead and pause this video, and I want you to try these two, 4 and 5, okay? We're baking cookies in minutes. I want to know dozens per hour. And then we have meters per seconds, and I want you to turn that into kilometers per minute. Go ahead and try these two, and we'll meet back together and make sure we're all on the same page. All right, back with my answers of my work. So I took 32 chocolate chip cookies over 8 minutes, multiply by 60 minutes in an hour, then multiply by 1 dozen is 12 chocolate chip cookies. My chocolate chip cookies canceled out, my minutes canceled out. I would end up with dozens per hour, which is exactly what I want. Multiplying that out, I got 20 dozens in an hour, okay? For the second one, I went ahead and converted this into kilometers per minute. So 400 meters in 65 seconds times 1 kilometer over 1,000 meters. And then times 60 seconds over a minute. Seconds will cancel. Meters will cancel. And I'm going to get kilometers per minute. And I got about 0.37. Excuse me. I got about 0.37 kilometers in a minute, all right? Now, that answers the part where it says, hey, find the kilometers per minute, but they want to know, well, how many can you run in 5 minutes? So I then went ahead and multiplied that by 5 minutes. If you think about that, our minutes will cancel out, and we get 1.85 kilometers as our answer, okay? So again, we're kind of setting up these multiplication problems. We're looking for units to cancel out as we go along, and then it's going to end up in the unit that we want. Thank you all for watching.